Powered by Riverside FM.
UP Nation, it was reported today that Joe Flacco is headed back to the Cleveland Browns. First of all, the Cleveland Browns shouldn't have let him go in the first place, but he's headed back to the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco was tied in to possibly being the number 2 quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. People thought that would happen after the draft because they didn't want to mess up the comp pick. So the question becomes, who is the Minnesota Vikings number 2? Most people think it should be someone that can come in and mentor JJ McCarthy at the quarterback position, and I am open to that. The one thing that I hope doesn't happen, which is definitely on the table, and it's been bounced around, and I haven't really talked about it because I just can't stand the thought, it makes my skin crawl, is bringing back Kirk Cousins. Why in the hell would you want to bring back Kirk Cousins? I mean, this guy, man, for years, it was, for me, I just couldn't rock with Kirk Cousins. I just couldn't rock with him, man, because I knew what the end result would be. And so for 6 years, it was just pure torture for me. I just have not been a Kirk Cousins fan. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. But you know what the end result is going to be. He can't come back to Minnesota. If Kirk Cousins, see, I feel the same way some people feel about Aaron Rodgers putting on the purple. I feel that same way about Kirk Cousins. I was a kid at Christmas time when Kirk Cousins left, turned down a contract that was offered by KOC and Kwesi to go chase the money in Atlanta. And I'm not bailing him out. Let him deal with that situation in Atlanta. There are more options that we can have at the number 2 quarterback. If Kirk Cousins comes back to the Minnesota Vikings some way, somehow, I will throw up in my mouth. Because I am so ready to turn that page, and people are going to say, well, we're not talking about him starting. We're talking about him being a backup and a mentor to JJ McCarthy. See, to me, there are some parallels between Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers. The only difference is Aaron Rodgers has been to the promised land, and he's gotten a ring. Where Aaron Rodgers sometimes didn't want to come to work, Kirk Cousins didn't want to come to work on Tuesdays. And again, I just don't understand why. I mean, the guy is like Freddy Krueger or Jason, whatever killer in the movies that you want to say, the guy that just keeps coming back. We just can't keep rid of this guy. Turn the page on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign in Pittsburgh, Kirk Cousins, that's a great spot, man. That's a great spot. Go to Pittsburgh. And the whole mentorship about Kirk Cousins being that mentor from JJ McCarthy, well, in what components? What can Kirk Cousins mentor JJ McCarthy on? For all intents, Kirk Cousins is a good teammate. I'll go there. He is a good teammate. He was a good teammate with the Minnesota Vikings. All the fellas in the locker room, remember the Kirko chains he was rocking. His boys in the locker room loved him. The boys in the locker room loved him. But he didn't come to work on Tuesdays. He failed in high-pressure situations. He couldn't get the Vikings over the hump. Remember, he came in when the table was set for Kirk Cousins. We had the number 1 defense in the league under Zimmer. It was set. All we needed was that missing piece at quarterback, and we gave the bag first fully guaranteed contract. We gave the bag to Kirk Cousins. He had 6 years to prove his worth, and he couldn't do it. So when you have a quarterback 2 is an insurance policy. If your quarterback 1 can't get the job done, or, God forbid, your QB1 goes down with the injury. So if that were to happen, if one of those 2 scenarios were to happen with the Minnesota Vikings, you know right now what the end result is going to be if Kirk Cousins has to step into that starting role again. And I'm not really sold on Kirk Cousins wants to sit the bench. I think Kirk Cousins wants to play. And I'm hoping that he's steadfast on that because he's not going to come back to the Vikings if that's the case. Kirk Cousins wants to play. It's why he wants to get the heck out of Atlanta, because he's not going to play over Michael Penix Jr. There's so many parallels, man. He's coming off an Achilles like Aaron Rodgers. He has pillaged the Vikings financially for 6 years, and now there's speculation that the Minnesota Vikings may want to give him more money. Even though the Atlanta Falcons are on the hook for a lot of it, to even have speculation to bring this guy back and to give him more financial support, man, is absolutely crazy. I can't rock with Kirk Cousins if he comes back to the Minnesota Vikings. No, UP Nation. No, the Minnesota Vikings need to turn that page. I am as hard set on that as people are with Aaron Rodgers. Same deal. I don't know what the Minnesota Vikings are going to do at number 2. There's been some speculation that they might be drafting a quarterback in the draft. I don't know if you go that route, but I think I'm not worried because I trust KOC and I trust Kwesi. So I'm not worried. This is not a panic rant. It's not a panic rant. I know whatever they decide to figure out, they're going to figure out. And if they feel like they can go with ripping and then draft a rookie quarterback in the draft, maybe in the later rounds, I know they're not going to use pick 24 on that, then I'll rock with it, man. I'll roll with it. If they feel like they want to go out and get a guy like maybe Carson Wentz, I think Carson Wentz, although his career has gone downhill a little bit, I'll rock with Carson Wentz. I think he's a little bit underrated. Is he one of the best quarterbacks in the league? Absolutely not. But he's a viable number 2. I would rock with Carson Wentz before I would rock with Kirk Cousins. I just know what the end result is going to be. I'm not sure he's 100% healthy. I'm not sure that Kirk Cousins still doesn't want to play and start. I can't see a world or a universe where this guy comes back in purple. UP Nation, what am I missing? I get all of the, he's a veteran, he's a great number 2. In case of emergency, break glass. If something goes down, Kirk Cousins can step on the field and be ready to go. You can say the same thing about A-Raj. You can say the same thing. The only difference is Aaron Rodgers has a ring. Aaron Rodgers has a ring. In his career, Kirk Cousins hasn't accomplished half the things that Aaron Rodgers has accomplished. The only thing is the perception is that Kirk Cousins is painted as a good guy. So people become emotionally attached to the good guy. But he pillaged money from the Vikings for years, didn't live up to his expectations, didn't work on Tuesdays, got offered a contract with the Vikings, decided not to take the contract because it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So he decided to go to Atlanta, knew that this was the best spot for him, almost bragged about it, what a great organization Atlanta is. They then draft Michael Penix because they knew that this may not be the goal that we thought it was. They had a feeling it was fool's gold. And so when Kirk Cousins started to fluster down the stretch, they went to Michael Penix Jr., and now Kirk Cousins has caught himself in a situation where now he doesn't know what to do, and he's playing behind a quarterback in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins will be great for somebody else. I just don't want him back in purple. That's a strong take by me. I rarely ever get on my soapbox, but I have been waiting 6 years for this guy to go somewhere else where we can start a new era. So, again, as I said before with the whole Aaron Rodgers deal, if we're going to rock with JJ McCarthy, let's rock with JJ McCarthy. Let's make sure if we're talking about culture And if we're talking about putting a great mentor behind him that can actually teach him how to be an alpha, let's do that. But it doesn't have to be Kirk Cousins. That era should be put in the past. Let's turn the page, man. This has been Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Those that think about becoming a member and become a member will be entered into a drawing to win a Minnesota Vikings Winter Warrior jersey. And as always, we'll see you when we see you. No Kirk Cousins, UP Nation. Don't do it to me. No Kirk Cousins. Skol.